Hello, hello. How are you doing today? Let me make sure we're recording. Okay, we are. So hello, happy election day. It's November 3rd here. I hope you guys had a happy Halloween as well. I know I did. I dressed up at my day job and I also dressed up at my sister's house. So that was a lot of fun for me. But today we're going to talk about how personal your art is and what kind of benefits and challenges it has. So I think everybody knows that what you create comes directly out of your brain, directly out of your heart, and it kind of really says a lot about you. And for some people, this can be really exciting, and for others, this can be a little bit terrifying. So let's talk about it. So when you make art, I think every choice really says something about you. The medium you use, if you put any words in it, is it a collage? Is it a painting, watercolor? What do you paint, the subject matter? All that kind of stuff really says a lot about you. And I think for some people, this provides a lot of options. So I know if you are comfortable with yourself, if you like yourself, this is really awesome. So you want to be satisfied with how you express yourself. If you're not being honest, it's going to show. People are going to know. And they're going to know because you're not going to be happy with your art. You're not going to be confident when you sell it. You're not going to be promoting it. You're not going to be marketing it anywhere because you're self-conscious about it. And I think one of the reasons that people are self-conscious about their art is because they're not expressing themselves truly. So a lot of times when we make art, we do it for like the likes, or we do it for, oh, I think my grandma would like it, or I think, people from high school that I don't even speak to anymore would like it. So I think you really have to be mindful of why you're making your art and what you make your art about, and are you being honest? So there's a lot of like self-help and introspection that goes on when you're thinking about this. So I think in your next piece, just make sure you're expressing yourself honestly and that you know yourself. And this can be kind of tricky because, you're changing all the time. So to really know yourself and to know, what do I like? What do I not like? What do I want it to look like? How do I feel? What are my opinions? Do I even have an opinion at all on this subject? And to take that seriously in your artwork. So I used to struggle with this a lot. Just being, a typical self-conscious teenage girl. Body image, opinions, the whole nine. But when I was in college, we're going to have a little story time. When I was in college, there was this history teacher that I had, and I was the type of person in every class to constantly talk. Like if there was a question that the professor asked and nobody answered it, I felt extremely awkward and I had to answer it, even if I thought maybe my answer was stupid or whatever, just because I wanted to show that I was paying attention and that I was trying. And so anyways, in this history class, it was an honors class because I was in honors college. At the end of every semester, he would give a book that he thought you would like to like the best student in the class. So I got the best student in the class, which was really cool. I was very impressed. And I think it's because I always spoke up and I always paid attention. And it was very clear that I read all the assignments, whatever. I really love to read. So he gave me this book. And it was called, I still have it. It's on the top shelf of my bookshelf in my living room, my favorite spot. And it's called Spoon River Anthology. And basically it's an anthology of poems written by Edward Lee Masters. And it's written from the perspective of dead people, which is really cool, I think. But it kind of shows like what people say beyond the grave from this imaginary town called Spoon River. And there's this one poem in there, and I haven't read all of them. I kind of will read one and digest it for a while, read another poem, digest it for a while. Some of them are long, some of them are short. And this one that I read like really changed my life and really made me think about how I need to be honest with myself and honest with other people about myself. And it really honestly changed my artwork as well. Like you can tell when I read that poem, and then the first two paintings that I made after reading that poem, because I used to, which I still do sometimes, incorporate like poetry or verses of literature and stuff like that in my artwork. And the first paintings that I made after I read that looked drastically different from everything else that I had been making, and everything since then has really kind of followed the same theme. So I'm going to read a quote that really stuck with me. It's not the whole poem. The whole poem is like, I don't know, too long for me to want to read to you guys, but it's on my phone. And this is, if you can see, it's part of the painting that I made when I really adopted like the cool tones. It says, "My life's blossom might have bloomed on all sides, save for a bitter wind which stunted my petals on the side of me which you in the village could see." So from the grave, this character is talking about how they regret, not blooming fully. They regret not taking full advantage of their own self because they were afraid of what people might say, or, people watching them, or, whatever. And it really hit me, and it really made me realize that maybe, I'm not blooming fully because I'm thinking too much about what other people think about me, which honestly, they might not even be thinking about me at all. So this really changed my life. Maybe it'll have an effect on you, but anyways, you need to really think about how you're expressing yourself honestly in your artwork, because it makes a difference. And I think when you are honest with what you like and how you feel, and you're comfortable with your mode of expression, it kind of manifests as like a really solid art style. Like you can tell when people really love gloomy art, or they love black and white, or they love, like highlighter colors and wacky psychedelic, or, like you can tell when people are really in line with what they like, and they know what they like, and they do what they like all the time. Because I think if you kind of have an inconsistent art style, which, no judgment, I had one for a super long time, you're kind of wishy-washy. Like you're doing acrylics this day and it looks totally different, and then you're doing ceramics and it looks like a totally different artist. Like you can switch mediums and it looks like the same artist, but you can tell when someone just doesn't know what they like. And I think that's because they are just looking at everyone else, what everyone else is doing. Oh, I love, that alcohol pour ink art. I love, seascapes. I love portraits. I just want to draw like, whatever. And it's because you're not sure exactly what they like. And maybe experimenting is great. Maybe you like a variety. Maybe that's what you want your style to be. But I think when you know what you like, it becomes very specific. So, and then also when you are honest with yourself about yourself, and you're honest with your artwork that you like and what you want to make, it's so much easier to talk about it. It's so much easier to talk about it. It's so much easier to market it, to sell it. Like you don't feel bad when you are like, hey, you should buy my art, because you really love it and you would really hang it on your wall. Like that painting with that quote in it, I hang that on my wall. It's right outside my bedroom door. And it just becomes more genuine. Like I wouldn't want to sell a piece of artwork that I know I kind of jocked off somebody else, or I wouldn't want to even post it on my Instagram. I wouldn't want to claim that that was something that genuinely came out of me and came out of my brain, when I know it was just because, so and so on Instagram does that and I think she's cool, and I think maybe other people will like me if I do what she does because people like her. Like you have to really think about, what do you like? And even if it's less popular, I think you should do it because it really helps you talk about it, helps you promote it, and it really will help you sell it as well. So I know this is a little deep, and it can be kind of tough to think about, what do you like? And I would just start off, looking at paintings that you have, and what do you like, which paintings do you really see yourself in, and what do you really like about those paintings? And then maybe write it down. Like look at all of your art and say, well, I don't think this really expresses my true self because, whatever. And then write a list, because this will help you get a style. It'll help you become more confident. And then you can improve on your art too. And you can do redos. Like I just did that redo I posted in the club of the Death is Any Day ghost, because at the time when I made that other one like 2 years ago, it really was like totally me. I felt totally me. And the concept still feels totally me, but when I looked at it, I was like, I would never recreate this piece. Like I would never draw the same piece again. It would look so different. So I redid it with the same concept, which I still agree with, but the style just needed to be different. And now I love it again. So it's okay to update. It's okay to, change your style. It'll always evolve. and you will always change as a person. If you're not changing, that's probably an issue. But yeah, and it is weird because art is so personal that even when you are being honest in your expression and you are making art that you truly love, if you have like, if you're self-conscious or if you have like self-worth issues, which I used to have a lot of those, so no judgment, and I still, still do a little bit if I'm being real, but it makes it hard to talk about your art. You don't want to show people because what if they don't like it? Or, your mom said, which my mom would never say that, she's a gem, but, a lot of people's family are like, get a real job. Or, if people aren't supportive of your art, people aren't supportive of you, if there are parts of yourself that you're ashamed of, you're not going to want to express that. And you're not going to want to show that to people. And so even if you make it, hiding in your closet is not really useful. So definitely, I think art is a work in progress, and you are a work in progress, and you kind of have to intertwine them in order to really express yourself fully. So let me know your thoughts on this. I know this is kind of a hard thing to talk about because it's so different for everyone, and you may be like a super confident person who thinks that, sun shines out of your asshole or something, but you have no problems expressing your true self and really being yourself around everyone. Like, I know my boyfriend is always like 100% honest. He doesn't care who's listening, and he'll say whatever to anyone. And that, some people, I really do not like that quality, but I love it. And I am envious of it because, sometimes I'm a little bit quieter when I think someone might be judging me, and, that kind of stuff, which can be helpful. You don't want to offend people, but also it sucks to feel like you're lying. So, and in your artwork, I think that's the place where you need to be honest, because that's your creative outlet. If you can't have your creative outlet, then, what do you have? So, yeah, definitely, if you are struggling with this, let me know. If there's something that you wish you could express in your art, but you feel uncomfortable doing so, comment it here. This is a safe space. You can talk about whatever you want. And let's get honest. And I can recommend some people that I've been listening to that have helped me become more honest. There's Natalie Bacon. She's like, I love her. She's like self-helpy a little bit, which is she's kind of weird, but once you get over that, she's so helpful. Honestly, I love her. Another one is Everest Asher. She is extremely witchy, and she's 100% honest all the time. She's like one of those people who will like cry on a YouTube video and like feel no shame about it and post it anyways, and those type of people really inspire me, who know what they want and they do what they want and they have their own businesses and that kind of thing. And I can list some more too that'll help you if you're struggling in this area. And I've been so good about it lately. I felt like my growth in this area is insane, and my artwork, I think, has reflected it a lot too. So yeah, just be honest, y'all. I know it's 2020, tensions are high, it's election day, tensions are high, but really just express yourself truly and know that that is worth something, and it will show in your artwork, and more people can probably relate to you than you think. So all right, guys, that's it for today. I'm going to be announcing the November art prompts probably tomorrow. I have not officially decided on it, so I'm still working on October's. As you know, I'm like a little bit late sometimes with those things. That's fine. I like to take my time. So yeah, I'll announce that one tomorrow. If you have any suggestions, let me know. I'm open to them. We can do really whatever you want to do. Nightmare was really cool. I know Jen posted her nightmare. She said it wasn't really a nightmare, it's more like a dream, which I've decided also in that video from last week to do my dream artwork about that weird empty house, instead of my actual nightmare of getting lost, which maybe I'll do that one too, but I just felt so called to do that one with the house. It's been like on my mind ever since. So I kind of started over on that. But yeah, so share those. I'll post the new prompts, and tomorrow's Work in Progress Wednesday. So if you have any questions, comments, if you want to make any drastic confessions, now is the time. Here's the place. So I will talk to you guys later.